Hi, I'm Daniel with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at and I'm going to show you how to install the 12-volt outlet kit on our 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. These 12-volt outlets are going to have a constant power supply to the battery, so even when your vehicle's off, you still have power to this. And these are most commonly used for braking systems, so you still have power when you're flat towing your vehicle. The wire simply comes through our firewall, it gets grounded to somewhere on the vehicle, and then that power wire is routed all the way to our positive post on our battery. This kit does have an inline fuse already attached to it, so it'll keep your portable braking system safe. Now getting into the install, this is super easy. You're just running one line. It is a little difficult on this. You will have to drill a hole in your firewall to get this fed. So if you're not wanting to do that or you don't have the time or tools, then feel free to check out our dealer locator and we can find a professional to do this for you. But if you want to do it yourself, then follow along and I'll show you how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and find an entry point into the firewall so I can get it into the cab. Now there is a carpet liner up here, and I'm going to remove these push pin fasteners just with a flat head just to get this out of my way. There is a plug attached to this. It's just going to be a light. You can't unplug that, but I'm just going to kind of fold this out of my way so I can get to working under here. There didn't seem to be any accessible spot to get this into the cab. So what I'm going to do is I actually found a grommet, and I'm going to open this up to a 1/2 inch right here and get this wire fed through that. Now I got a piece of airline tubing I'm going to use as a wire fish. I'll get this fish down through. This is our 12-volt outlet, and on the other end you're going to have the ground and then your power wire. Now I will have to cut this and reattach it outside just so I can get this through the firewall. I got my piece of airline tubing on the inside. Now I'm going to tape up our wire and get this pulled through. Now I'll go ahead and thread my grommet through, and I can get this put in place. I got my ground and power wire, and I just routed it under this trim piece. Now I'm going to strip the power wire back. Go ahead and get a heat shrink butt connector. Get this crimped on. I'll go ahead and grab a piece of wire just to extend this to the battery and get this crimped on as well. Now I got a heat gun, and I'm going to go ahead and get this shrunk down. And these connectors are really good because they'll just prevent water from getting in there and corroding your wires. We routed the power wire over to our battery, and now at this point we would snip this end and put this on the positive terminal, but we decided to upgrade today to an inline fuse holder. This is just a little more modern device, and it's a little easier to access. So I'll go ahead and get my ring terminal on one side of this. Now on our positive terminal, I'll go ahead and take this off with a 13mm socket. Now I will get our inline fuse attached and get this tightened back down. Now I'll go ahead and cut this to length, strip it back, and get these two attached. For the ground right here, I am just going to use a self-tapper and self-tap this into the frame. And the last thing we want to do is we're going to grab a 20 amp fuse and get this put in our fuse holder. It does come with a bracket you can mount, but I like a cleaner look, so I'm actually just going to zip tie it back here, and when it's not in use you can just push it back when you're not using it. I'm just going to move the seat all the way back so I can get this to fit in. And I already took the floor mat out. Usually there's rubber floor matting. You're going to want to take that out because it's going to make this a lot easier to set up. So on the back here there's a knob, and I'm going to adjust this all the way up here so it aligns with our seat. Get this tightened down. And this claw here does have different settings where I can set this to be smaller or larger depending on their pedal size. So I'll go ahead and see if this works with our pedal. I'll go ahead and move this seat up, almost touching the pads on the back. Probably like an 1/8 inch away there. Now I'll go ahead and plug in our 12 volt power right there and plug in our breakaway switch right in the middle. I'll go ahead and hit the power button. And as you can see, they're flashing, so you just want to hit setup. And then I'll move the seat just a little bit more, and I'll go ahead and do this a couple more times, make sure I like everything. And that was a look at the 12 volt outlet kit on our 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L.